Hey everybody, Christopher here with Banger. I thought I'd take a minute today and walk you through an interesting piece of Sage Paperless construction that can save you time. So, in an earlier video, I mentioned that paperless construction can automate your invoice routing. It can take your coded invoice and send it to the appropriate reviewer when the invoice has been coded. So, let's take a look at how you would set that up. The easiest way is to use the simple wizard to add the rule. So let's take a look at how you might set something like that up. The simplest way is to use the quick add feature, which adds a simple rule. We'll get into a more advanced option in another video, but let's take a look at how you would use the simple manager for now. You must be a Sage Paperless Construction AP Flow supervisor in order to work with this, but you can open up Sage Paperless Construction, pull up the AP Flow tab, and then choose the Manage AP Flow option. This is going to open up your AP Flow management window. We want to take a look at the Invoice Routing tab. Here you can see where your rules for how an invoice is going to move from initial processing through to approved and exported to your Sage accounting software. In this case, I have a test rule set up, and we can see that any invoice with a cost code of 10-200 is going to go to me at sequence 0. Now, the sequence is going to be effectively a layer of your approval process. So you start from sequence 0 and just move up through the integers. So sequence 0 is first, sequence 1 is second, sequence 2 is third, and so on. To add a simple rule, you just click Add, and it brings up the Simple Rule wizard. Now you can name your rule. Let's say something like Sally approves any invoice that's $10,000 or more. So we'll say Sally gets invoices of $10,000. Then you set a description, and if your rule name is not descriptive enough, here you can add several sentences worth of description. Then you choose the rule type. So you can set your rules based on things like cost code, cost type, department, equipment, or GL account. You can set for specific jobs or phases. But in this case, we want to use the dollar amount. And then we'll click next, and we'll say we want an invoice from $10,000, and we'll leave the to field blank because Sally's going to get everything that's $10,000 or more. And then we're going to choose Sally as the reviewer and click next. And here you would choose your routing groups. Most people aren't going to use routing groups, but if you're using them, make sure to select the appropriate routing groups here and click Finish. And now we can see that a rule has been generated where if the invoice total is greater than or equal to 10,000, Sally gets the invoice at sequence 0. Let's say you have another project manager or a manager above Sally that needs to approve the invoice if it's above 25,000 after Sally has approved it. We would simply add another rule and say, in this case, let's have Bob get the invoice of 25,000 plus. We want to choose dollar amount again. We'll click next. We'll say 25,000. We'll again leave the to value blank. And then when we choose Bob from the list, we want to set his sequence to 1 by double clicking in the field to be able to edit it. And this sets him as the second reviewer in that approval process. We again leave the routing groups as default. And now we have any invoice of 10,000 and over goes to Sally at sequence 0. And then it also goes to Bob if it's $25,000 or more. And he's the second one in the sequence. Now, what that looks like is when Sally gets the invoice, she approves it, and then Bob gets the invoice. At any sequence, all of the reviewers must mark approved or remove themselves as a reviewer from the invoice. But If you don't want Bob to see the invoice until Sally's completed her approval process, then you need to make sure they're at a different sequence. There's also the Advanced tab, which allows you to create a much more detailed rule. That's something we'll get into in another video, but it is definitely there and is far more capable than the simple rule add. You can get very specific with your rules, so look forward to that video coming soon, where we can go into how you can say, based on a specific job and a specific cost code, but not a specific vendor, send the invoice to the appropriate reviewer. Thanks for watching. I hope you liked the video and I hope you learned something. If you did, go ahead and like and subscribe. And check out our website for additional resources. And have a great day.